Wizards of the Coast had a D&D Direct where they talked a lot about all of their fancy things, books and stuff coming out in the foreseeable future. Most of it was D&D tie-ins, but at the very, very end, Chris Perkins announced the sequel to the Phandelver campaign, which was the original starter set, and this is a continuation, but it will also unravel the mystery of the Black Obelisks.
We'll further explore the mystery of the obelisks that have cropped up in so many of our adventures. Phandelver and Below, the Shattered Obelisk, marks our return to Phandalin, where a mysterious obelisk begins to unleash monstrous danger beneath the earth.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
If you've been following this channel for a while, I did a couple of videos on the Black Obelisks and how they pop up in a bunch of different adventures, and also a video on Vecna and how he kind of like ties in with all of this. So today we're going to look at the new information, kind of go over that again very, very quickly, and talk about all of it. So grab your tinfoil hats and let's dive in. But first, this video is sponsored by Metis Media and their new Kickstarter, Wayfarer Nomadic Realms, a 5e plus setting guide that takes players and game masters on a journey to unexplored cultures of the nomads and horse lords. With Wayfarer Nomadic Realms, you'll be able to easily plug in a vast library of content to your campaigns, from a massive bestiary to an expansive armory, from unique subclasses to sprawling lore and geography to get lost in, and magic rules based on Asian zodiac signs and runes. Check out their Kickstarter today by clicking the link in the description, and be sure to download the free Quick Start PDF available now. And thanks again, Metis Media. Here we are back on my wall of crazy. This is the wall with all the strings padded around. This is Notion. If you're unfamiliar with Notion, I'll put a link down below, as well as a link to my previous Obelisk videos if you're interested. But I'm glad I started this because it's allowed me to kind of track things and go here and there. So originally, this was a video published. I published it 11/30/2020. So this is an older video, but I've kind of been updating this page while I search for obelisks. So here's a bunch of Black Obelisk links that I found and conspiracy theories and things like that. But I wanted to go here. So these are the 5e adventures on the left that have confirmed obelisks in them. And we don't really know what they do. They're of varying size, but they're usually like, I don't know, 8 to 20 feet tall. They're black obsidian, shiny, and they're made of an unknown material, and if they are broken, weird things happen. So in, I believe it is in Tomb of Annihilation, if you break it, a demon pops out for, I don't know, 3 rounds or something and kills a bunch of people. The one in Descent into Avernus, if you cast spells around it, weird things happen. And the Icewind Dale one is part of a crashed Netherese ship, and that Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden, gave us the most information about the obelisks, where they're actually tied to the Weavers, who were a group of magicians that have since been vanished. Vecna stole the idea of how to craft the obelisks and what they're for, and the Netherese expanded upon that as well. They also kind of rediscovered this magic. And if you're not familiar with all of those, this is a lot of Forgotten Realms stuff that will all tie back into the upcoming change with 5th edition. Yeah. So if you watch my previous video, you can go through and I'll describe all of this stuff in more detail there. And I'll also have a nice, cool pandemic beard, and it'll be really gross for you. So I wanted to go through the ones that don't have obelisks, and we can kind of rule them out for interesting ways. So Tales of the Yawning Portal, that's an older adventure, probably won't have obelisks because they're all pre-written adventures. Ghosts of Saltmarsh kind of falls into that. Acquisitions Incorporated, I wanted it to have one, but I think since it was primarily written through Penny Arcade, they are not part of this machine that is incorporating all of this. Eberron doesn't have anyone, and then we get into like Ravnica, Theros, and I put Wildmount here, and I'm gonna have to delete that. But Ravnica and Theros are Magic the Gathering settings. If their goal was to incorporate Magic the Gathering and D&D into one mega setting, which I don't think Wizards of the Coast would do, it would make sense to put them there, but they haven't done that. Ones that I haven't thoroughly checked is Candlekeep Mysteries. I haven't finished reading all of those. Wild Beyond the Witchlight, I did read, but I didn't catch any obelisk or some kind of even like broken ruins in that one. Strixhaven doesn't have anything in it. Again, not a D&D setting. Critical Role, Call of the Netherdeep. Call me out if I have found this or not, or if it is in there. Journey Through the Radiant Citadel I've read, and I have not seen any in there. Spelljammer, Light of Xeraxis would be the most logical place to have one, but I didn't find any there. I casually looked through Shadow of the Dragon Queen, and I have not purchased or read Keys from the Golden Vault. But I know Curse of Strahd, Tyranny of Dragons, Lost Mine of Phandelver, all of these are confirmed to not have obelisks in them. The new one on this list is Critical Role Explorer's Guide to Wildemount. I didn't think Critical Role would be part of this, but let's scroll down and go to the Critical Role area here. So looking through Critical Role, there is an area in the Explorer's Guide to Wildemount called Ilsacross, I hope I'm saying that right. And with Ilsacross, there is a strange obelisk that is in the Aor. Again, I'm probably not pronouncing it correctly because I don't know Critical Role as well as other fandoms, but the Aor crash site. So the Aor, and I had to research this a little bit, is a pre-Calamity floating city of wizards. It felt very much like the Netherese Empire in the Forgotten Realms. They understood magic and technology at a level that nobody else really did. And in the pre-Calamity era, all of the gods kind of got frustrated with these like super arrogant elven and human people, and so they demolished their city before the calamity happened. And this is the crash site of that city. A lot of these people are kind of like frozen in time, and it's a big area to go treasure looking in this, ancient magical empire of what have you. So within it, there is a strange obelisk. So I'll read this. A mile west of the crater that defines the crash site is a rocky hill that thaws any snow or ice that rests atop it. The mouth of the cavern can be found on the hill's northern side, which leads to a 60-foot wide domed chamber. In the center of this cave stands a 15-foot tall obelisk made of dark, reflective metal that resembles smooth obsidian. The stone quietly hums with an aura of abjuration from some mysterious enchantment. Travelers that complete a long rest within proximity of the stone are visited with terrible dreams of strange, alien places and visions difficult to understand. Totally feels like an obelisk that we're going to have. I was genuinely surprised, but maybe Critical Role and Dungeon and Wizards of the Coast, maybe they are more partners for this coming version of Dungeons & Dragons than we previously thought. And I want to say thank you to all the people that did point out to me in the comments of my last video that, hey, there's a obsidian like obelisk in Critical Role. You should go check it out. It's in the Explorer's Guide. And I did. I just never made an update, which I should have. So let me know about these books, which is Critical Role, Call of the Netherdeep, Dragons of Stormwreck Isle, Dragonlance, Shadow of the Dragon Queen, or Keys from the Golden Vault. The new adventure that we're going to learn more about the obelisks in is a sequel to Phandelver, which is the starter set from 2014. This is going to be Phandelver and Below, the Shattered Obelisks. We don't know anything about it right now, but it's going to come out summer of 2023, and I'll be sure to pick it up, read it as fast as I can, and update you guys with some information. A bit about the Forgotten Realms is it was kind of a living thing. Like events that happened in the realms would happen, and then we would document it, and then you would be playing in a current version of the realms. 5th edition has been really like wibbly wobbly about it, and we don't really know why we're not getting like what year of the realms are we in, Wizards of the Coast, and they won't tell us. So we assume we're in this time range. So now we need to talk about Vecna. He's going to be the big bad guy that is coming into this new era of Dungeons & Dragons in 2024, which is the 50th anniversary. His story is really interesting from the 2nd edition age, where he was trying to basically rewrite the universe and ascend to godhood, and he did, and then he was the only god that ever like weaseled his way into Sigil, which is not a place that gods can go, and there's a whole adventure summary about it. I'll put links up in the doobly-doo and down below. Vecna is an anagram of Jack Vance. Vancian magic, we get the phrase Vancian magic, which is from Jack Vance, who is an author, and that kind of just fits with all of this. And D&D uses a modified version of Vancian magic in the idea of spell slots. So Vecna has had his own journey from Greyhawk to other places. The latest Acquisitions Incorporated that was just at PAX East features them going to Greyhawk, which I think is very notable moving forward. And I wonder if we're going to repeat the trials and tribulations of Vecna. If we'll go from Vecna being in Greyhawk to Vecna being in Ravenloft to Vecna being in Sigil in Planescape, to then Vecna being either banished or ascended to godhood. In 4th edition, he was a god. And in 5th edition, it is not, we don't have anything about him other than in the Dungeon Master's Guide, there is the hand and eye of Vecna. And then recently we've gotten a stat block for Vecna as a monster dossier from the D&D Beyond. If you are new here and want to learn more about Black Obelisks, I encourage you to click the links down below. I also encourage you to learn more about Vecna, because he's going to be a big bad guy coming up. He's going to be the Thanos level threat to the Forgotten Realms. How will the Forgotten Realms change? Will this affect the movies? Or is the Forgotten Realms movie Earth 616 and all of our games are spider different weird multiverses that coexist at the same time? Thanks again for watching, everyone. Thank you for liking and subscribing and sharing this video with your crazy conspiracy theory friends. And I'll see you all in the next video.